The first humans to ever set foot on TRAPPIST-1d, a distant planet 40 light-years away, were a group of brave and determined pioneers. They had been sent by the government of Earth in a mission to establish a new space colony. It was a monumental task, but they were determined to see it through. The journey to TRAPPIST-1d was a long and difficult one, filled with moments of excitement and moments of fear. But eventually, the ship arrived at its destination. The colonists disembarked, and they looked around with wonder and awe. The first thing that struck them was the beauty of the planet. It was a warm, vibrant place, with its lush forests and wide open plains. The sky was a deep shade of black, filled with stars that seemed to stretch into eternity. The air was fresh and clean, and the sun shone brightly in the sky. The colonists quickly realized that TRAPPIST-1d had a unique atmosphere that was conducive to human life. The planet was rich in resources, and the colonists had brought with them everything they needed to set up a colony. It was an exciting moment for the pioneers, as they began to build their new home. They constructed homes, farms, and other structures, and they started to form a community. The colonists soon realized that the planet was not without its dangers. The wildlife was strange and unpredictable, and there were many unknowns lurking in the shadows. As the colonists worked to build their new home, they had to be constantly on their guard. But despite the dangers, the colonists were determined to make the colony succeed. They worked tirelessly for months, and gradually, the colony started to come together. The colonists were also determined to explore the planet. They formed teams to investigate the terrain, and they mapped out the surrounding area. They discovered that the planet was teeming with life, and they also found evidence of past civilizations. As the colony continued to grow and thrive, the colonists were given a name, the TRAPPIST-1ders. People from all over the world started to take notice of the colony, and soon, more and more people started to come and join the TRAPPIST-1ders. The colonists had succeeded in creating a new home in space, but they were still a long way from being self-sufficient. The colony needed supplies from Earth, and the government was happy to provide them. In return, the TRAPPIST-1ders were able to provide valuable insights about the planet, and they even started to explore the possibility of mining the planet for resources. The TRAPPIST-1ders had come a long way in a short amount of time, and their colony was growing stronger every day. They had overcome the dangers of the planet and had successfully established a home in space. The TRAPPIST-1ders knew that their work was not yet done. They still had many challenges ahead of them, but they were determined to keep going. They had achieved something truly remarkable. They had created a new home in the stars. Space colony on the closest habitable planet. The distant planet in the far reaches of space seemed like nothing more than a distant dream. But the dreamers, the scientists, the engineers, and the brave souls who wanted to explore the unknown, all had the same goal in mind. They wanted to colonize a planet that was as close to Earth as possible. After years of research and development, the dreamers finally found what they had been looking for. A planet in the closest habitable zone to Earth, with an environment that could potentially support human life. The planet was named New Earth, and the first crew of colonizers was sent to begin the work of establishing a new home. The first ship, the Endurance, arrived on New Earth and the crew began to set up the first of many space colonies. The new settlers quickly established the basic necessities of life on the planet. They built homes, they created farms, and they developed the infrastructure necessary for a self-sustaining colony. But the work was hard and the environment treacherous. The air was thin, and there were frequent dust storms that made living conditions difficult. The soil was rocky, and only a few crops could grow in it. But the colonists persevered, and slowly but surely, the colony began to thrive. The first settlers were an eclectic mix of people from all over the world, but they quickly became a cohesive group. They worked together to create a prosperous and vibrant community. They built schools, hospitals, and businesses. They developed art and culture. They even created their own unique form of currency. The colony was quickly becoming a thriving society. But the settlers had one more challenge to face. They had to find a way to survive in a hostile and unforgiving environment. They had to find a way to feed their families and protect their homes. Fortunately, the settlers had brought with them a technology that would help them survive: hydroponics. Hydroponics allowed the settlers to grow crops in a controlled environment, providing them with the food they needed to survive. The settlers also developed methods of using solar energy to power their homes and businesses. They built wind turbines and solar panels to generate electricity. The space colony on New Earth flourished for decades, becoming a model for sustainable living in space. As the colony grew, more people from Earth came to join them. The colony expanded, and soon other space colonies were established in nearby planets. The space colonies became a beacon of hope and progress in a vast and inhospitable universe. They showed that humans could survive and even thrive in the most extreme environments. Today, the space colonies are a symbol of human ingenuity and our ability to adapt and overcome the harshest conditions. They are a testament to our courage and resilience, and an example of what is possible when we work together. The space colony on New Earth is now a bustling, vibrant city. There are schools, parks, and businesses. The streets are busy with people from all over the world, and the air is filled with the sound of laughter and conversation. The space colony on New Earth is a living, breathing reminder of the power of the human spirit. It is a testament to the courage and determination of the first settlers, and a reminder that anything is possible if we just dare to dream. The sun beat down on the barren landscape, the dirt and detritus beneath, the explorer's feet crunching as he walked. He was used to the harsh environment of the post-apocalyptic world, the harshness of the sun, and the oppressive silence that filled the air. He had been wandering for weeks, searching for something to make his journey worthwhile. That was when he saw it. A ruin explorer's dream come true. A building in the middle of nowhere, seemingly untouched by the ravages of man. He knew this could be his chance to make something of himself, to find something of value in this wasteland. He approached the building cautiously, his eyes dotting around for any sign of danger. He had heard stories of raiders and other unsavory characters lurking in the ruins of the world, and he wanted to be sure he wasn't walking into a trap. The building seemed to be in surprisingly good condition, considering the amount of time it had been abandoned. He made his way inside, marveling at the architecture and the level of detail that had gone into the design. He noticed various pieces of technology scattered around, some of which he recognized and some of which he didn't. He made his way through the building, examining the various rooms and artifacts he found. He was amazed at how much of the technology still seemed to be in working condition, despite the fact that it had been abandoned for so long. He continued to explore, marveling at the various pieces of technology he encountered. He was particularly drawn to a large computer that seemed to be the centerpiece of the room. He ran his fingers over the keyboard and felt a surge of excitement course through him. He knew he had found something special. He approached the computer and began to analyze it. He quickly realized that it was a powerful piece of technology, and he knew he had to find a way to get it working. After some tinkering, he was able to get the machine up and running. Upon booting up, he was greeted with a message from the computer. It thanked him for his efforts and asked him to enter a specific code in order to access the system. With some more digging, he was able to figure out the code and gain access to the system. As he explored the system, he was amazed at the level of detail that had gone into creating it. He soon realized that he had stumbled upon a treasure trove of information. He had found something that could make him very wealthy. He quickly backed up the data and exited the system before anyone else could find him. He knew he had to move quickly in order to keep this secret to himself. He gathered his things and ran back to his camp, eager to share his discovery with the world. He had done it. He had found something incredibly valuable in the ruins of the world, something that could make him very wealthy. He was now a ruin explorer, and he would never forget the thrill of discovery that he felt when he stumbled upon this treasure. The sun rose over the horizon, its light cascading over the land like a blanket. It was a new day, and for the small caravan of explorers it was a chance to make new discoveries. The caravan had been formed many years ago, when a group of people had come together in search of a better life. They had ventured out into the wastelands of a post-apocalyptic world, with a mission to explore the land and discover its secrets. The caravan was composed of a ragtag bunch of survivors, each with their own unique skills and talents. They had scavenged and bartered for the supplies they needed to survive, and they made their way slowly but surely across the land. The leader of the caravan was a wizened old man named Harold. He had been a caravan explorer for many years, and his knowledge of the land was unmatched. Harold was the one who plotted the course, deciding which direction to take and which places to avoid. The group had come to be known as the Fallout Explorers. They had developed a reputation for their daring and skill in navigating the dangerous terrain. Whenever they came across a new settlement, the locals were always eager to hear stories of their exploits. They had been exploring for weeks now, and the days had grown long and tiring. But the excitement of discovering new places kept them going. Today they had heard rumors of a mysterious ruin deep in the mountains. It was said to be an ancient temple, hidden away from the world. The explorers were eager to find out if the rumors were true, and Harold decided it was time to take a chance and investigate. The group packed up their supplies and set off, traversing the mountains and valleys. The terrain was rugged and treacherous, and more than once the explorers had to take detours to avoid dangerous creatures or debris. After hours of traveling, the explorers finally reached the ruin. It was an impressive sight, a tall stone structure built into a cliff face. The entrance was blocked off by a large wooden door, but Harold knew the way in. He led the group through a hidden passageway, and soon they were standing in a large chamber. The walls were covered in carvings, and a number of strange artifacts were scattered around the room. The explorers took a moment to take in their surroundings, before venturing further into the temple. They were soon in another chamber, this one filled with more artifacts and a large stone altar. The group examined the altar, and soon discovered that it was a magical gateway. They realized that this was the key to accessing the secrets of the ruin, and they eagerly stepped through the portal. On the other side, the explorers found themselves in a strange world. They were in a vast underground city, filled with mysterious creatures and strange technology. There was something dark and mysterious about the place, and the explorers immediately felt a sense of dread. The group explored the city, gathering information and discovering its secrets. They learned of a powerful relic hidden somewhere in the city, and set off to find it. After days of searching, the explorers eventually found the relic. It was an ancient artifact with the power to control time and space. With this relic, the explorers could travel anywhere in the world. The explorers took the relic back to their caravan, and soon word spread of their success. The explorers became famous, and they continued to explore the world, uncovering new secrets and discovering new places. They may have been a small group, but the Fallout Explorers had made a name for themselves. They had ventured into the unknown, and come back with new knowledge and power. They had proven that even in a dark and dangerous world, discovery and adventure still await those brave enough to seek it.